In the headlines, INEC contemplate extending continuous voter registration exercise as turnout of will-be voters increases. Ondo government cancels June 12 celebrations over our attack. Nigerians groan high cost of living. Away from Nigeria, 7 bodies found at scene of helicopter crash in Italy. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the news in detail. The Independent National Electoral Commission says that the body is considering extending the continuous voters registration exercise. The comments followed calls from several quarters for the body to extend the registration scheduled to end on June 30th. In a tweet via the Commission's verified Twitter handle, the chairman said that the Commission have heard the request loud and clear and that the members of the public will soon hear from the Commission. He assured the observers believe that the June 30th deadline will disenfranchise many Nigerians who are yet to collect the cards. Meanwhile, hundreds of Nigerian youths on Saturday defied the day's shower in parts of Lagos to attend the Youth Vote Count mega music concert. At the Tafawa Balewa Square, where the event took place, youths thronged the venue, defying the rain to attend the event organized under the auspices of the European Union-funded Support to Democratic Governance Program in collaboration with its implementing partners and the Independent National Electoral Commission. Entertainers, singers, and content creators thrilled the audience and specifically reminded them to get their permanent voters card to be eligible to participate in the 2023 general elections. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said he is impressed with the turnout of the prospective voters since the registration exercise started at the TBS, saying to centralize the process, he has directed that the registration machines should be deployed in 20 local governments in the state. The chairman assured that their votes will count and asked the youth to come out on the days of elections, vote and not fight. Now, a political scientist and lecturer at the Gombe State University, Dr. Abdul Kadir Saleh, has warned Nigerians against expecting good governance from candidates who emerged through vote buying during the primary elections of the various political parties in the country. Saleh gave the warning while speaking to Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail in Gombe.
It is no longer news that Nigeria's primary elections are heavily monetized, as most candidates of the country's leading political parties were allegedly elected through vote buying from delegates. As Nigerians prepare to vote in the forthcoming 2023 general elections, Dr. Abdul Kadir Saleh says Nigerians should expect little from the candidates because the system that brought them is not credible.
Well, I don't have much expectation looking at the processes that allows them to emerge. There wasn't any internal democracy, serious internal democracy. Rather, it was a few delegates that were allegedly collected money to elect them. So therefore, there are a lot of money influence, which prevents credible candidates from emerging as flag bearers of many political parties. But maybe a miracle may happen that we see Nigeria changing. But definitely the democratic process is marred with massive corruption.
The university don said, despite the current challenges in the country's electoral process, things may get better.
Well, the way forward is, one, people should try as much as they can to see that we internalize the democracy. We captured the power from the governing elites through our ballot boxes, through our election cards. We use the card to elect credible leaders. And we say no to imposition of leaders. By so doing, I think as time goes on, we'll get it right. Because as I said, change is gradual. We can't get it just instantly. If you look at advanced democracy, they spend 100 years, 150 years trying to change their community, trying to change the pattern of way things are going on. So definitely it will take time, but we will reach the promised land.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, also expressed concerns over how politicians monetize the nation's electoral process, noting that the nation might be inching toward plutocracy. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Now, ex-governors of the People's Democratic Party have pledged their support to the party's 2023 presidential flag bearer Atiku Abubakar. The ex-governors made the pledge during a meeting with Atiku Abubakar in Abuja, led by former Niger State Governor Babangida Aliyu. The governors also asked Atiku to clear the air on where he intends to pick his running mate from. Although Atiku did not directly answer the question, he asked the governors to work towards the party's success.
To restate our commitment, our loyalty, and our readiness to work for the success of PDP, for the success of Atiku Abubakar as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Somebody said to me, can you confirm what Waziri Adamawa meant? Because yesterday he said his vice president will come from the governors, but he didn't say former governors or current governors. So I believe in your response you will clarify further.
If we can all put our energies in our respective states, local governments, and even polling units, nothing should stop us from making sure that we return our party to power. Because there is no single political party that has got the kind of resource persons like we have got today. Let's put behind whatever political disagreements that have occurred between the contestants or between which side you supported and which side you do not support. This is my appeal to all of you.
Now, in part 3 of our series profiling flag bearers of political parties, we shift attention to former Anambra Chief Justice Peter Omedi of the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA), Malik Ado Ibrahim of Young Progressives Party (YPP), and Sunday Adenuga of Boot Party (BP). Nana Mohammed, who has been profiling the flag bearers, takes us closer to these candidates as the nation counts down to the 2023 presidential election.
For the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA), former Chief Justice Peter Omiadi is to fly the flag of the party. Justice Omiadi is from Anambra, southeast Nigeria. He was born in the 1960s. With no prior experience in terms of holding a political office, he is running for the highest office in the land with the hope of causing an upheaval. Malik Ado Ibrahim of the Young Progressives Party was born in the 1960s into the royal family of His Royal Highness Ado Ibrahim, the Ohenoye of Ibira land, Kogi, central Nigeria. Ibrahim is the candidate of YPP and is believed to be a billionaire businessman and one of the owners of the Formula One team, Arrows, in the US. Prince Malik Ado Ibrahim is a well-known businessman. Mr. Sunday Adenuga, a businessman from Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, has clinched the presidential ticket of Boot Party (BP) for the 2023 general elections. Just like his counterpart, he is known as a businessman without political history in Nigeria. Come 2023 elections, he is going to fly the flag of the BP. Nana Muhammad, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has directed the Attorney General of the state and Commissioner for Justice to write to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over harassment of the state's People's Democratic Party governorship candidate Siminalayi Fubara. The report.
Governor Wike gave the directive at the Executive Chamber of Government House, Port Harcourt, after swearing in 3 new commissioners. He maintained that the attempt to harass the state PDP candidate will not be accepted, as the state government will not hesitate to charge the EFCC for contempt.
Let me also say that you use this opportunity to write a strong protest letter to the chairman of EFCC that we're not in the era of impunity. There's a period of obeying the rule of law. The attempt to harass the candidate general will not be accepted by this government. If not, we will charge them for contempt. Apart from that, the Accountant General has another judgment against EFCC to enforce its fundamental right.
Governor Wike further directed the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice to commence the prosecution of the illegal financial dealings of the former River State Governor Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, Tonye Cole, Sahara Energy, and others over the sale of state assets.
Luckily, you came in at that time when we have 5 preferred charges. We have preferred criminal charges against the former governor, Sahara, Tonye Cole, and the rest of them. We have preferred criminal charges at the State High Court. So you are coming at the right time to take over the matter, to make sure it is prosecuted diligently. I don't want to hear excuses. Diligently. Let the people see what happened with our money, how $50 million from our account moved to a company without nothing to show whether there was business, whether there was this and that. $50 million. And I want to commend all of you that you have shown commitment, you've shown hard work, you've shown loyalty. And for me, that's the only way to pay back the people who have shown, in spite of all odds, they are still there with you.
Governor Wike informed that he will be careful in constituting a cabinet, noting that at the twilight of his administration, only people with undivided loyalty are needed to ensure a good ending.
President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed his determination to ensure that the new president is elected through a peaceful and transparent process. The president, in a national broadcast to commemorate Democracy Day today, June 12, 2022, promised Nigerians a free, fair and transparent electoral process. Buhari said all stakeholders must work together to ensure this transition was done in a peaceful manner in honor and memory of one of the national heroes for democracy, Chief M.K.O. Abiola, as June 12, 2023 will be exactly 30 years from the annulled 1993 presidential elections.
As we move into the general election campaign season, we must sustain this mature attitude to campaigning and ultimately voting. We must never see it as a do or die affair.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up shortly. How Nigeria records 3,500 leprosy cases. Details and more after the break. Join us again. Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. INEC contemplates extending continuous voter registration exercise as turnout of will-be voters increases. Ondo government cancels June 12 celebrations over Owo attack. And still in Ondo State, the government has cancelled this year's June 12 celebrations in the state following the attack on the St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State said this in a tweet on his official handle on Saturday. Earlier, the governor had faulted the federal government for blaming the attack on the Islamic State's West Africa province, saying that the move was hasty. A statement from the governor's media aide, Richard Olatunde, quoted the governor as saying that the terrorist group could have taken responsibility for the attack if it was behind it. Governor Akeredolu maintained that the attack, which left scores dead and many others injured, further heightens the need for state police. The National Union of Road Transport Workers, Imo State Chapter, in partnership with West Africa Network on Small Arms, has organized a road show and one-day public lecture against gun violence and light weapon in Owerri. The road transport workers who marched from Government House around a roundabout to the IIC in Owerri said that the rally is commemoration of 1 week action against gun violence and needs to curb circulation of small arms and light weapons among the members of the public. The state chairman of the National Union of Road Transport Workers in Imo State, Comrade Samuel Ude, called on government to intensify efforts to stop circulation of small arms and light weapon among unauthorized members of the public. The Wansa representative says that the team is in Owerri to preach against gun violence due to activities of unknown gunmen in the state.
I'm here to tell the good tidings to people, to inform them that it's only the security agencies that are in a position to carry arms. Every other person that is carrying arms is carrying it illegally.
They have their numbers. What we're going to do is to integrate them, share information. They are a source of intelligence, and sometimes they go beyond where security agencies cannot go, and we can work together to make Nigeria a peaceful society. This is the beginning of mobilizing Nigerians towards peace, especially this time election is around the corner.
We have had enough gun violence, especially in Imo State, and we are saying no to it. We are preaching against gun violence, and we are preaching against the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. Gun violence is a menace to the society.
The Katsina State Command of the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested 62 addicts and dealers in some parts of the ancient city. The suspected addicts, who are mostly teenagers, will be handed over to a reformatory center for counseling, while the dealers among them will be prosecuted. Abdullahi Ahmadi has the details.
Parading the suspects at the Katsina State headquarters of the NDLEA, the commandant, Mr. Ahmad Bashir, says it is worrisome to have all the suspects from within the metropolis. Interestingly, the suspects were arrested during a special patrol carried out by the command.
Because of the provision of drugs within the states, we decided to carry out raid operation for the next few days. All the suspects are here now, there are 61 in numbers, and they fall between the age bracket of 18 and 40. All of them were arrested with various types of drugs, from cannabis, sativa, Exol, rubber solution, D5, and tramadol.
The command, the Katsina State NDLEA boss, assured will not relent efforts in addressing the menace of drug abuse, especially among youth.
It's so sad that we have this kind of large of number within 24 hours that are arrested, and we just raided about 3 different joints where drugs are being peddled within the state, and we have this.
The NDLEA is happy with the support given to its officials by residents during the clampdown on the suspected drug addicts and dealers. The agency, however, blamed failure on the part of parents for moral decadence, as they are not doing enough to ensure proper upbringing of their children.
We solicit for the support of every million individual within the state to give us their support and cooperation. We assure you that while carrying out our job, we are going to do it professionally and with high sense of discipline. If anyone does not have issue with drug, there is no way we are going to arrest them. Every parent should want their word, because by the time we are through with them, after investigation, most likely some of them will be prosecuted.
The entire country faces an uphill task battling banditry, terrorism, armed robbery, rape, and other manifestations of crime as a result of nonchalant attitude of the people towards drug abuse. The NDLEA boss warns that unless something urgent is done, the activities of drug peddlers and addicts will continue to derail the much-needed development Nigerian people are aspiring for. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now, security operatives have raided and destroyed buildings harboring criminals in Oba, Idemili South local government area of Anambra State. This follows the directive by the state governor, Charles Soludo, to security agencies as part of efforts to secure lives and property in the state. The report.
State Joint Security Task Force conducted a demolition exercise which lasted for more than 5 hours. First was a building located at Oba, where various incriminating exhibits were found. Reacting to the success of the operations, the governor assured that his government is fully committed to ensuring that the state is safe for everyone.
Any house again that will find kidnappers or used by kidnappers will be brought down. That's no if and but about it. Any forest where they hide must also be cleared. No place to hide for criminals in Anambra. We understand this complicity of silence on the part of people around. But we've said, if you see something, say something. We've given out the numbers. Give us information. Tell us if you have anything suspicious. Any place that you see something suspicious happening that you suspect might be criminals, tell us. We will go there and take them out. And for the neighbors of that neighborhood, the particular house, must have been seeing something. The complicity of silence must be condemned. We'll keep a zoom on that neighborhood and on the people who are living there.
The governor urged residents of the state to report any strange activity or criminals operating in their communities to security agencies.
No fewer than 3,500 leprosy cases are recorded in Nigeria annually. Consultant, pulmonologist, and chairperson, Medical Advisory Committee of the National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Training Center, Zaria, Dr. Eunice Chitumu Jia, disclosed this while taking Trust TV round the facility. The report.
The National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Training Center, Zaria, was established in 1991 and saddled with 3 basic mandates of patient care, training, and research on TB and leprosy. However, in recent time, the mandate has been extended to cover for HIV/AIDS. The center, which has been negatively impacted by the high rates of insecurity in recent time, has however continued to serve as the only facility that houses and caters for leprosy patients in the north-central geopolitical zone of the country. Speaking to Trust TV in Zaria, Dr. Jia said, leprosy, which is caused by a bacterium, is mostly contaminated through inhalation of droplets and mainly affects the skin.
It is a chronic infection. It is caused by Mycobacterium leprae bacilli, and the means of it being gotten is by inhalation of the droplets from an infected individual. So by and large, the fact that leprosy is in an individual, it doesn't manifest till after at least 20 years. That's what we call like the incubation period of that infection.
According to her, despite efforts by the federal government and some donor partners, the prevalence of the disease stood at 3,500 in Nigeria annually, noting, however, that the center alone attends to at least 5 leprosy patients per day. The senior consultant said the facility still offers services to patients, contrary to reports that insecurity has forced the center to shut down. She, however, confirmed that they no longer retain inpatients in their medical facility due to the fear of the unknown, noting, however, that outpatients have continued to receive medication in the relevant units of the hospital.
Just as I said before the COVID era, it had been outpatient and inpatient. Okay. So, and then with the advent of the insecurity around us, it had kind of been limited to more outpatients, or else I would have said, okay, we'll go and see some on bed. But the truth is that they come, and just as I said, it doesn't stop them from coming. They are familiar, because it's just that when they are so used to a particular treatment center, it is difficult to say, I want to go somewhere else. So they come. If it is wound care, they are rehabilitated, and for those that other complications have set in, we try to find out and rehabilitate and advise correctly.
Meanwhile, when Trust TV went round the medical facility, it was discovered that all hostels that accommodated patients were empty, as they have been officially discharged due to insecurity in the area. Recall that some few months back, bandits invaded the facility, kidnapped about 9 staff.
Urbanization has been one of the critical factors that have led to rising cost of living in the country. Despite statistics rolled out by the government agencies to suggest improving economic conditions, many Nigerians are struggling to cope. Chamung Dabeng reports.
Citizens have migrated to big cities in search of greener pastures or as an escape from insecurity. But they are confronted by astronomical costs of feeding, transportation and rent, which they cannot afford.
Per se, Federal Capital Territory, I think things are going higher. Like right now, we know the way things are going in Nigeria right now, so we are not ignorant of that fact. But cost of living in Abuja is quite high. Except you're on a very high side of income, it's going to be a little more cumbersome for a common man.
Look at how much is being paid to a worker as a civil servant. Compare with what we buy in the market. You cannot. There's nothing to write home about. That's what I'm saying. Imagine somebody that's been paid 70,000 naira a month. Talk about transportation, take up about accommodation, take about the food you buy. You see, there's nothing to write home about, so to speak. So government should do something about it so that things will be well and go well with the people.
At least we're trying from hand to mouth, because I've not really saved since I moved into Abuja. Just trying to stock my stomach first before any other thing. Everything should go back to normal, how we used to be before, on low prices.
And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. Remember, you can connect with us via all social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.